Hey everybody, welcome back to a brief on grief. Um, Today I woke up thinking about grief in a little bit of a different way. Um, Often when we think about grief and think about loss, we think about things that kind of happen in our lives that are unexpected, that we're not planning. But there's also loss and grief, resulting grief in the things that we consciously choose to let go of or consciously step away from, or consciously change in our lives. This, of course, was in my head and my heart, waking up this morning, because this is, as always, I create these videos from experiences that are going on in my own life. So I'm in a point right now where there's a couple different pieces of, I'm calling it conscious loss, because I'm actually in the middle of reading a book called Conscious Love right now. So I thought when I was waking up thinking about these like chosen losses and chosen changes, I thought, well, yeah, it's very conscious what I'm doing. I'm making a choice to step away from certain things or change certain things in my life, which are creating these losses. But it's a different way than we usually think about it. So I'm coining it conscious loss. And yeah, and I remember learning, like in the program that I took years ago, that we can't forget about those losses that we actually choose. So the ones where well, one of the ones that's going on in my life right now is changing of jobs. So where we change jobs or move cities or, I don't know, trade in maybe a car. It's hard for me to relate to because I've never even owned a car, but maybe trade in a car for a different car, because I've heard that there's a lot of memories attached to vehicles, and that there's a loss related to when you give that one up and start with a new one. So yeah, so there is still grief involved in losses that you choose and losses that are voluntary. Um, so yeah, I'm still in the process of sitting with a couple different few conscious losses. Right now, with my job change, I've been building an excitement over the last few weeks since I decided I was going to switch jobs, to leading up to giving my notice a few weeks ago, and now leading up to my last day. I'm full of excitement right now. Um, I know from this whole experience that there may be times down the road here where I'm going to realize some things that I missed about the current job, and that will be part of the loss. But right now, I'm just at a state of excitement about that. But it's still a conscious loss, and I'm staying open to the fact that there could be a future time where I do feel different emotions, sadness, or whatever, missing certain parts of it. So, um, another part, I realize these three are kind of very different. Another part is a journey I've been on the last few weeks for sure, as related to the last video that you've seen on here about unplug. So I actually unplugged from texting and emailing and social media for a couple weeks, and it was a glorious journey. There might be a video created just on that when that's a little bit more present, but this is some of the stuff. This video here is some of the stuff that came of it. So another piece of conscious loss that I'm experiencing right now is certain habits that I realized I had, and knowing that I wanted to alter those, but didn't know what that looked like. So hence some of the inspiration behind the unplug is to just kind of get quiet with myself and see what's behind these habits. What is it about? What do I feel? What's instigating it? And then as I was getting, coming to the end of my second week, was just about like, well, what does the new normal look like for me with this? What do I want to bring back into the world when I plug in? Because I mean, the reason why I was sitting quietly with this is because something didn't fit right for me. I knew it was taking away from my life somehow. I knew it was limiting my energy. I knew it was limiting my focus towards away from things that I want to create. And move forward with in my life, that the dreams that I have in my head, I still was having some habits related to technology and communication, whether it was active stuff or whether it was mental energy of the time spent in things, contemplating about things, conversations with people, or remembering to text people back, or just different little pieces of things that I've never really thought deeply about. So again, another conscious thing, because I'm letting go of habits from before with a little bit of an unknown, looking ahead at what that looks like. I've worked in some different habits over the last couple of days since I've plugged back in, but still an unknown and maybe a little bit of a fear. So a fear coming up related to a let go and a loss of an old habit and a starting of a new one that I haven't really totally identified and been clear on what it looks like. So that's kind of a different view of like the grief that might be involved in a conscious loss like this. Interesting. This is kind of coming as I talk. I didn't really know what I was going to say. I never really know what I'm going to say in these videos, just an intention. But so there's that second piece. So there's the new job, there's new habits and the unknown, a new job and the unknown a little bit too. And then the third one is pretty powerful. So it has to do with relationships. It has to do with letting go of a relationship. So one that I've been thinking a lot about and related to the realization when I was in my unplug, some of the mental energy that I expend thinking about stuff. So I realized in the past year that I'd noticed like for a couple months that I had kind of drifted away from a person, and I didn't really understand why. And I became very aware in the last couple of weeks of the mental energy that I've spent thinking about, well, why? What happened? How come we drifted apart? Like not knowing what was going on the other end, because I hadn't asked that person directly. It was just that we both kind of drifted from each other, and neither one of us tried to figure out why. So I was just left with myself in my world, trying to make sense of my side of it. And just realizing the energy that I spent doing that. And in the last couple of months, I was like, I want to make sense of this. And if I can't make sense of it, I still want to communicate, right? And then I was getting an inkling of it before my unplug, but really in the last couple of weeks, I grounded in, maybe I don't need to know. My mind doesn't need to understand exactly the reasoning behind it. I just know that my body and my heart has not been pulled to connect with this person. I haven't missed this person. I haven't missed the communication. I haven't missed us hanging out. I haven't missed it. So hence I haven't been longing and being pulled to connect with this person. And to know that was enough, that was enough for me to know that it wasn't a relationship that maybe was for my highest good because I wasn't pulled to it. And that was enough to communicate that from a place of love with the person, to allow myself to step away and have closure with it. Again, another example of a conscious loss, which is still very new because I did actually had that conversation a little bit ago, and then sent the email yesterday. So again, like I said from the first one, there's still a lot of layers, I'm sure, that will come up. But I think this one's a little different in that I was already letting go of this relationship over, months and months over the past year, right? So, but that was part of what my body was saying, is that I wasn't really missing the person. I wasn't really missing the time. But it was weird for me it's very new for me to drift away from a person and not know why. And then to make a decision to have closure with a relationship when I'm not totally clear, my mind's not totally clear on the why, but I'm just honoring what my body's saying, and for that to be enough to have the closure. So a very different view of loss and grief than what we typically think, and what I've typically created these videos out of. But it's a loss just the same, and there's a grieving process just the same, even when you consciously choose to step away and let go of things or relationships. But really it's all relationships. So it's relationship with my job, relationship with previous habits, and a relationship with a person. So it's all really about relationships. So yeah, that's my ponderings on conscious loss today. And that's it. Okay, I will see you next time.